Thank you for joining us this evening to welcome amongst us Cassandra De Pecco, and also you'll be meeting Maga very soon when he comes up to launch what we're here for this afternoon. We've had a very interesting day today, taking Cassandra around and showing her a little bit of Mauritius and getting her to meet also some of the local media. So a very interesting day, I think. I think so. I've got to introduce somebody, and he's got a long list of titles, shall we say. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Georgina Raghavan. No, I'm not introducing myself. That's my title. I'm just helping out this evening. Maga, come forward a bit. Maga Ramasamy, President of the Payanker Social Club for Air Mauritius, and also the Association of Airline Ambassadors, Coordinator for the International Institute of Peace through Tourism, the Indian Ocean chapter. I'm going to leave the floor to him to introduce the whole concept of this chapter in a moment. And why are we here today? In fact, apart from meeting somebody interesting like Cassandra, we're launching the Sustainable and Responsible Tourism Network, which I think some of you are members of already. Maga, can you come and tell us what it's all about, please?
Thank you. I'm sure I don't have a presentation. Okay, that's another piece of it. Well, just want to recognize the presence of the president of SCAL in Mauritius, SCAL Club Mauritius, and the members, and the executive members of the Association of Airline Ambassadors, the executive members of the Payanker Social Club of Air Mauritius, and also all the distinguished guests, eminent personalities, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Good evening, and I would like to, on behalf of the International Institute of Peace to Tourism, the Indian Ocean chapter, also would like to welcome Cassandra De Pecco, the Ambassador of Peace, to be with us tonight. Well, in fact, as Georgina just mentioned, it's three organizations mainly form part of this network initially, which is hosting this event this evening, and to launch the Sustainable and Responsible Network in tourism, mainly in Mauritius and in the Indian Ocean Islands. The network so far is composed of various stakeholders, representative of emerging entrepreneurs in the tourism industry, tourism professionals, the hotel groups, the MCs, the airline companies, NGOs, academics, and other tourism stakeholders. And I must say that at the same time I would like to recognize the presence of the hotel group like Ansanam, Lux Hotel, and various, the Coqui Bonheur, the DMC. All these stakeholders are joining together to put up and to help us, or to support in a way this network. Well, mindful of the debates of the United Nations for transforming our world in relation to the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, the 17 SDGs, and with its 169 targets, am I right, Vishni? 169 targets, yeah, were announced not later than September last year to demonstrate the scale and ambition of the new universal agenda, asserting the importance of the economic, social environment. Our Sustainable and Responsible Tourism Network, through the World Tourism Organization, welcomes the adoption of the SDGs and reiterates to to work towards the implementation of the goals. It is our duty as tourism stakeholders to step up over action, to time to advance policies, business strategies that monitor and minimize the negative effects of tourism developments and maximize the positive impacts. The World Tourism Organization has identified 3 SDGs where the word tourism is included, but if you go through the other 14 DGs, that I always make the comparison between the 17 and the 14, in fact it's 14.3, and if you go on the other 14 SDGs, tourism, since it is the most dynamic sector with global reach, make an important contribution to the achievement of the SDGs in general. The SDGs, in fact, is a plan of action for people, planet, and prosperity for all nations, and fostering peace for tourism, fostering peace, and require the stakeholders to act in a collaborative partnership. So it means it is a 5P: the planet, the people, prosperity, peace, and partnership. So it's, finally we come up with the 5 P's, which stimulates action over the next 15 years, that is 2030, in areas of critical importance for humanity and the planet. And it is well spelled out in the UN document. When we talk about people who are determined to end poverty and hunger in all their forms, and to ensure that all human beings can fulfill their potential in dignity and equality and in a healthy environment. When we talk of planet, we are determined to protect the planet from degradation, including through sustainable consumption and production sustainably, managing its natural resources, and taking urgent action on climate change so that it can support the needs and the present future generations. By prosperity, we are determined to ensure that all human beings can enjoy prosperous and fulfilling lives, and that economic, social, and technological progress occurs in harmony without nature. By peace, we are determined to foster peaceful, just, inclusive societies which are free from fear and violence. There can be no sustainable development without peace, and no peace without sustainable development. And partnership, we are determined to mobilize the means required to implement this agenda through a collaborative partnership for sustainable development based on a spirit of solidarity, focused on, in particular, on the needs of the poorest and most vulnerable, and with the participation of each and every one. So these are a bit the roadmap towards the SDGs and how we as a network we want to achieve. So our sustainable and responsible tourism network, ladies and gentlemen, will work in close collaboration with local authorities. I'm mentioning MTPA, the Tourism Authority, the Ministry, the government, and as well as the international organizations like the WTO, the World Tourism Organization, the ICTP, the International Coalition Tourism Partners, the WTCC, the World Travel and Tourism Council, the ICTR, the International Center for Responsible Tourism, IATA, International Air Transport Association, WACA, the World Airlines Club Association, among others. Our Sustainable and Responsible Tourism Network will be dedicated to promoting the responsible tourism, supporting sustainable development, and helping travelers and tourism providers protect the environment, socio-cultural, and economic needs of our destination. On the other hand, we will encourage tourism stakeholders through capacity building to adhere to the UNWTO Global Code of Ethics, which will soon become an international convention and eventually transforming into legally binding international law, and also to increase awareness of core values such as accessibility for all. That's, I'm sure that Daniel will be very happy to hear that. The child protection in travel and tourism. And by the way, we do have some of the stakeholders who have already been signed off with the code.org by joining the code.org for the protection of children against sexual exploitation in travel and tourism, which I'm pleased to announce. We have Koki Bonaire, who is one of the stakeholders. We have Ansana Hotel, who has just joined. We have Air Mauritius, through the Payanke Social Club of Air Mauritius, and obviously we were expecting some others to join. And our network will be pleased to work on special sustainable tangible projects as well. And I have the pleasure. This morning, in fact, I received an email from Professor Geoffrey Lippmann, which I would like to share that email with you. And Professor Lippmann is the founder and president of the ICTP, the International Coalition Tourism Partners. And he said, "Dear Maga, I wanted to send my congratulations for your initiative to convene a Mauritius Responsible Sustainable Tourism Network, which is based in Mauritius and eventually in the Indian Ocean Islands. It is timely between 2015 Green Growth Summits, which was held in Paris last year, and the 2017 International Year of Sustainable Tourism. Next year, we are going to celebrate the International Year of Sustainable Tourism. And as you know, the SDGs have 17 goals, 169 targets, and 304 indicators to achieve by 2030. The Paris Agreement seeks to respond to climate change by 2050 by holding temperature increases to no more than 2 degrees.